So I've been getting a few requests recently about what my thoughts are on the synopsis of the Season 4 finale episodes, and after reading through them, I have to admit that there is a great deal of potential with these ideas. Now, since I am going to be talking about my thoughts on what I think will happen with the season finale, I should remind everyone that spoilers will be involved, so turn back now if you want to keep everything a surprise. First up, the synopsis for episode 25 reads, Princess Celestia chooses Discord over Princess Twilight to help track down a villain. Well now, what sort of adventure could the writers have in mind here? The first thing that comes to mind for me is, why would Celestia entrust Discord to do this task over Twilight? Well, I can think of a few reasons. Perhaps Discord has been complaining to everyone that he hasn't been getting the chance to do anything important, and perhaps Celestia feels that it would be more dangerous for Twilight to track down this villain compared to the Spirit of Chaos. After all, Celestia has spent many years mentoring Twilight, and now that she is a princess as well, perhaps Celestia would want to keep Twilight out of harm's way if there was another option available. That seems to make the most sense to me. However, I could see another possibility that Discord is up to some of his old tricks again, wanting to play the situation to his advantage in some way. While I don't think that he'd be trying to dethrone the princesses and take over Equestria again, I could see him trying to test what others would do when trouble comes around. Whether Discord has anything to do with this threat or not remains to be seen. And speaking of which, apparently we get to see a major villain making an appearance during this season finale. I for one hope that the MLP staff are not going to create a brand new villain, simply because it is rather difficult to establish a new character and still have enough time for everything else. I would prefer that we either get to see a return of Chrysalis and the Changeling Horde, or there is the possibility that Sombra wasn't completely destroyed and has managed to pull himself back together again. Or perhaps both? Honestly, I'd like to see these two finding a way to work together, as that would present a very real threat to all of Equestria. Which leads into the synopsis of episode 26. The other princesses transfer all of their magical power to Twilight in hopes of saving Equestria. Now there's a doozy. We've seen Twilight manage to save countless others before, but this time all of Equestria? This is going to be very interesting. First off, if Discord was the one tracking down this villain and ends up failing in some way, would that mean that there is an evil power out there that is capable of defeating the Spirit of Chaos himself? I mean, I can't imagine that Discord would just ally himself with this new villain willingly, so I would assume that whomever this villain is, they have the power to bring down Discord. Which would make it very understandable that the princesses would have to take drastic measures in order to defend Equestria. Now, of course, I would have to wonder why the princesses would transfer their power to Twilight rather than the other way around. And honestly, I think it goes back to one of my earlier videos about Princess Celestia, that the centuries have been slowly but surely weakening her, and that she has been mentoring Twilight in the hopes that she will be able to leave Equestria in good hands after she steps down. I'm also curious about whether we'll get to see both Celestia and Luna in their weaker forms, much like how Luna looked after being stripped of her dark power during the Season 1 opener. I'd very much like to see what Celestia would look like in that form. And then perhaps we would also get to see Princess Twilight Sparkle looking very similar to how the other princesses look now. She may get taller or maybe even get a more majestic looking mane. And I have to imagine that the overarching plot about this locked box will play a role in some way here, but I suppose we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. In the meantime, though, I would like to hear your thoughts. Given what we know of Discord thus far, what do you suppose will happen to him in this season finale? Why would Celestia choose to have Discord track down this villain instead of Twilight? Why do you think the other princesses would give Twilight their power in order to save Equestria? Do you have any ideas on how this locked box will be involved? I would like to hear your thoughts on the Season 4 finale synopsis, and here's looking forward to all the new headcanons and theories that will arise after the season's over. I am DRWolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.